So as we continue on here, we're going to look at using a class with multiple programs. So not necessarily the way we would think of different programs. So I'm not talking like Chrome and Firefox here, but different programs that you create. And we are going to see in the second portion of this, so the second video, instance fields with multiple instances. I can't say that, I've practiced 3 times. So if we go ahead and click through to Chapter 6, Multiple Classes, what we will see is as follows. Please remember from the previous video, what you see here in rectangle.java is actually, for our intents and purposes of this video, main.java. Or rectangle demo, rather, is main.java. Rectangle is our class. So, remember, classes are the way that we create an instance of an object. So that object is going to point back here to our class for all of its fields, that's its variables, and its methods. That's how it gets stuff done. So in between the first video for a simple Java class demo and this one, what I've done is I've added more functionality back into our rectangle.java. So you'll notice we still have just our private double for length and width, but this time we've expanded on set length with set width, get length, get width, and now get area. One thing you'll notice here is our set length and set width. These, we're actually doing an assignment that is, can I call it long term? So as long as the parameters that have been passed over from inside main.java are not going to be overwritten with another set length or another set width, length and width are going to remain constant. However, down here with public double get area, you'll notice that we don't have a set area. We only have a get area. This is a good idea. Anytime it is that you have a field, so something like area, which is really just length times width, you don't want to store this long term because that calculation is going to be subject to change, right? So what happens if for whatever reason we call accidentally set length, right? And over the the long run of our application, we accidentally call set length and we reset length to, from 10 to 20 or from 20 to 2000 or whatever it happens to be. We would also have to remember to set area. But because area relies on 2 other already stored variables, don't even bother. Just have a method that returns for you, the resultant of the math that we have there. So you'll notice here inside of public double get area that I'm not doing anything with the math. I'm simply putting all of my math in the return statement. So if you think about things like, return interest or get interest or get GPA, things like that, is there any reason why I would want to keep a long-term GPA on a student? No, right? Because that changes all the time and it's error prone. A GPA is something that we should want to have right now because it's based on the data we have right now. I don't really care what your GPA was at a different point in time. So as you're building your classes and as you're building them with methods, think about, well, do I really need to store this long term, or is area, something that is integral, it's important to a rectangle? Sure, I'll give you that. But isn't area just the resultant of length times width? And in that case, don't have a set area, just return it instead. So we have our newly Upgraded. Rectangle class, remember again, with a capital R for rectangle here in our file as well. And it now represents a slightly more fleshed out class. So if I come back to main.java, you'll notice I have my same instantiation of my object, rectangle box equals new rectangle, empty parens. That is the call to the constructor. That's the next video we're going to talk about. After we construct our object, I'm going to pass along the arguments 10.0, because remember this is a double, and the argument 20.0 to set length and to set width right here. So this box dot is indicating to Java in the runtime environment that that is going to be located where the class for box, which is a rectangle, which is over here in rectangle.java. So the rest of everything that happens in here is we're going to display the length, we're going to display the width, and we're going to display the area. And indeed, those things come out over here. Now, just to prove that we really do not need a set area because it's just a calculated field, all I'm going to do is change the parameter that we're sending over there for length to 100, the parameter that we're sending over here to set width to 200, and we'll run it again. We'll patiently wait, and when it comes up, we do have a correct box area for that. The second portion to this is great. You know, the second portion asks, great, now what? So we have a rectangle.java and we have this little itty bitty main. Is it possible that we can have multiple programs point at this class and actually get work done? And the answer coming up.